US debate earlier this week. Donald Trump says he is the winner, but he doesn't want another debate. There has been some $70 million in donations go towards the Kamala Harris campaign after that debate. So I guess the money talks. Joining me now is former Senate candidate and Republican political strategist Alex Zdan. Alex, good to see you. Who won? I mean, this seems like an obvious question, and Kamala Harris, I think certainly had command. She had more to lose. But when you look at the metrics and the money and where voters might actually turn out, how can you tell?
Well, I think it's less about who won and lost on debate night than who's actually watching. We have numbers that show that about 67 million people tuned into that debate, and that certainly seems like a lot, but President Trump got 74 million votes in 2020. Joe Biden got 81 million votes in 2020. The vast majority of America was not watching. This election is going to be decided by 100,000 voters in 4 to 6 swing states. How Trump or Harris did with those individuals is going to define the race. And just right now, we just don't have the data to know which of that cohort was watching the other night. We just don't know.
Yeah, we don't. And also, does it matter who was actually watching? I mean, there'll be millions more people that'll just see tiny clips of that debate. Probably the claim about immigrants eating dogs and cats. Does that hurt Donald Trump?
I think that many people are going to sort of brush by some of these debate highlights while they drink their morning coffee or bring their kids off to school. Quite a lot of people in the United States are not as engaged in political life day to day as you and I might be. So it's going to be these kind of voters that either campaign is going to try to reach. I know this. I know that during the debate, Donald Trump was much more direct in addressing pocketbook issues, economic issues, that many people believe that that's how the election is going to turn. Inflation is too high. Things cost more than they did 4 years ago. And let's be clear, Donald Trump is still running against the Joe Biden administration. Yeah. Even though Joe Biden was not on that debate stage, his replacement, Vice President Harris, was. He's running against 3.5 years of a failed administration in the Biden-Harris regime.
Yeah, but the problem for him and problem for the Republicans is that there is a distinction now. That's right. That's a strategy from the Republicans, right? Because you want to remind people that she is the incumbent. If you want things to change, he's actually the change candidate. It doesn't feel like that at the moment, though.
Well, most Americans do not like what the Biden-Harris administration did. They are not happy with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's performance in office. Now the goal is to make sure that they trust President Trump to carry forward his plans. I saw that debate and I thought Vice President Harris acted like Donald Trump was still in office, and we know that's quite simply factually untrue. She was blaming him for the economy, blaming him for coronavirus statistics that are way in the rearview mirror. I think you're right. The change candidate in this race is the Republican. It is Donald Trump.
But as you watched that, Alex, did you really think that Donald Trump was at his best?
I don't think that Kamala Harris is Abraham Lincoln. I don't think that she's Ronald
That wasn't the
Reagan.
question.
The bar was very low for Vice President Harris. She exceeded a very low bar. She was shaky in the beginning. She was unsure. She seemed nervous. I think that she was able to throw out some chaff, some flair, some distractions that former President Trump went for. But all in all, it was not a very encouraging night from Vice President Harris. Let's not forget, when we talk about debates, President Trump, that's his second one. It's Vice President Harris's first. President Trump is the only person in American history to debate 2 separate presidential nominees in the same election cycle.
Where was his energy, though? I mean, to be honest, Alex, I looked at that for the first time and thought, oh, Donald Trump next to Kamala Harris, age is a factor now. Are you worried about that?
I thought he was very energetic. I think that is something that we all noticed. I see, you can't have it both ways. People are criticizing him for being too energetic, and now you say he's not energetic enough. How much energy would you like?
I just thought, you know, he's lost his mojo a bit. And I mean, since Kamala changed, the rules of engagement changed, and I don't think he's quite got that back. Not to say that he won't, because if he starts talking about the economy, If he starts talking about the economy, I think he wins the election. But he's unable to cut through on that. And that is really surprising at this point in the campaign.
Well, what's interesting when you look at the way things are going is that the issues are on former President Trump's side. There is still an economy that is too slow. People still have concerns about the situation at the southern border. President Trump, when he was in office, did not start new wars. Peace through strength is part of his platform. Those issues are going to redound to Donald Trump's benefit. And I think that we're going to see a continued focus on the economy, on immigration, on those pocketbook issues as we head closer to Election Day.
Do you think do you think Donald Trump really thinks immigrants are eating cats and dogs in Springfield?
I haven't had a conversation with him in my life, so you'd have to ask him that. What I do think is that that particular story, the story of Springfield, Ohio, as it sits right there with 20,000 Haitians coming into that town searching for work, the fate of Springfield, Ohio, actually illustrates what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are talking about in regards to American carnage. Don't forget, Springfield, Ohio is a town in the industrial Midwest that was hollowed out by corporate greed. Factory jobs went away. The town fell on hard times. Now, Haitian immigrants are coming in there and taking these jobs that are for lower wages than perhaps the middle-class people that were being paid before. They're trying to revitalize the town. That's actually a microcosm of America, and I think that President Trump and J.D. Vance understand what that means.
J.D. Vance has been a bit quiet of late. Did he get off to a shaky start?
I certainly saw him in the spin room in the debate afterwards. I saw him speaking on television. He's been quite vocal about that. He's been running all around the country. I think that his pick is about a legacy for former President Trump, because win or lose, former President Trump cannot run for president again if he wins under the 22nd Amendment. So this was a legacy pick by President Trump, and I think J.D. Vance is very well equipped to carry on the legacy of former President Trump into the future.
How worried are you about Taylor Swift?
Not one bit.
Okay, didn't think so. Alex, thanks so much for your time. Great to talk.
Thanks for having me.